Me, Ivo, we did this meme on this, but can we go into more detail please? Ivo, of course, my dear. Me, my question relates to my own past and upbringing. People might know that I was severely abused. I was born in 1960 and was a post-baby boomer, a blue ray from Vega, constellation. Of course, at the time I didn't know this. What I knew was I grew up thinking, of course, there was something wrong with me because my parents kept telling me that I was doing it all wrong. The fact that I felt different didn't help. I'm also an empathy. But I kept thinking all the time, that they were wrong. I knew better, but now as an Earth child, I was learning that whatever was my natural way of responding to situations, was completely wrong. I remember deciding to fight back when my brother called me names. I had to give myself consent to do this because it wasn't in my nature. Which of course is the way of those in the vegan star system, we don't call each other names. I couldn't figure out why my mother was angry at me because I didn't like the dresses she made for me and why she hated me. I wasn't used to this type of rejection because of course my vegan mother, would never treat me like that. I remember thinking I had to put up with the way I was being treated, and this made me angry because I knew they were wrong. I knew it. I didn't respect my parents because they were my parents. I knew they were wrong and that I knew better. So I ended up feeling extremely victimized. As do many light workers, I'm finding out. And this went on for many years, led to addictions and codependency and submissive behavior, which thankfully I've overcome. I think in a way I enacted what was taught to me as normal all the while knowing it was wrong, but I was powerless to stop it. I see that over the years the people who continued to abuse and mistreat me were my teachers, because eventually I got fed up with this treatment and refused to put up with it anymore. It was also validating for me when I went into 12-step programs and I learned that I was right, this wasn't normal. Ivo, yes, and you see that it was the fact that you were unprepared to deal with your parents at that tender young age that activated the victim in you. And this is of course, to be expected. Parents should be nurturing, not abusive. You chose those parents for their DNA because you did need the DNA of Earth's vegan ancestors to facilitate the birth of your soul on planet Earth. So your father was necessary. You also consented to transmuting the familial bloodline, so taking on the issues was also necessary. We have another video on that, available on YouTube. But yes, the other reason you did this was to bring in empowering energies to stop the victimization of all those on your planet as well. As you empowered yourself, you empowered the rest of humanity as well by changing your energies. As you change your energies, you simultaneously change the energies of humanity on Terra, Earth. It is not just through being an example for others. No. It is changing the negative energies of this vibration by taking your corresponding energies and transmuting them by changing your behavior. Having the viewpoint of a victim in insidious. It overshadows all your day-to-day activities and the way you think and feel about all around you. It puts you in a continuous state of defense or withdrawal. It gives you a feeling of me against the world, that all else around you is to be defended against. It affects everything in your life, and of course because the role of a victim is not fulfilling or self-actualizing in any way, the victim suffers at their own hand. Lamenting over problems is not the way to live life, of course. Your people tend to look at the word problem and roll their eyes skyward and feel sorry for themselves. Do not look at it this way because you connect with the negative victim archetype and the corresponding energies. Look at a problem as an empowering situation. As you search for the solution to this problem, understand that as you find it, you will increase in self-empowerment. Of course, nobody jumps for joy and shouts, "Oh! A problem." No. But look at it as an opportunity to grow, learn, and become a master of life. Because that is what it is. Perhaps instead of using the word problem you can use the word challenge or even the word opportunity, an opportunity to prevail in life and gain self-mastery. Feeling sorry for yourself does little to help you. Yes, there is often an accompanying glut of emotional energy that is tapped into from your light body when one feels like a victim. These are stored up energies from your past that you have now accessed to make your situation feel much worse than it potentially is. Yes, there are some terrible things that happen on your planet, we know. And yes, I am not making myself popular, of course, by saying this, but you chose your lives before you were born on Earth. You are not victims. The victim will be angry at me for saying this. You must work with your soul to create the life you want, not against it. When you go into victim mode, start thinking as a victim, you are contradicting your soul because your soul is empowered and wants you to be as well. Your Earth is boot camp. It is a hard place to learn. It can be easier if you change. I went through a couple examples in the video we did on inner peace, where Sharon complained of her neighbors' activites. I pointed out to her that her problem with the neighbors was showing her new avenues to take in her life. So with some patience she will resolve these problems. These are opportunities, not problems. Yes, I know. There are victims being killed all over your world. What of them? They are being shot, bombed, murdered and maimed in your wars. I seem unsympathetic. I am not. We of the Galactic Federation are working to put an end to your penchant for killing others as a solution to your problems. This is a worldwide problem and will be dealt with as such. No more killing will be possible once Gesara law is in effect. We will enact the solution to killing on Earth, to limit your free will to exclude such an action. No violence will be permitted once Gesara is underway. And yes, we saw the opportunity. We did. And on this note, there is the tactic of the cabal to create problems and then offer the solutions. Such as your false flag events. There is an event that is created which outrages the people, and then the solution is offered. So in the case of false flag shootings, the solution is to offer better, more militant police protection, and this is being done now as you view this video. The solution to your problem is the implementation of the New World Order, and they are doing it with your consent. If you would stop looking at problems as being terrible, because you have a victim mentality, they would not be able to carry out these false flag events. They have manipulated your people into believing that problems are bad and then manipulate you again into coming up with solutions that will eventually become the final nail in your New World Order enslavement coffin. This will happen on some timelines, unfortunately. A change of thinking is necessary. Your contribution is to change your own way of thinking. The way to do this is to react to your life situations as learning opportunities. The process of growing through such opportunities, especially when mastered the first time, is much less painful than staying in the problem as a victim. I will suggest to you that many are raised as victims in your world as part of the cabal's enslavement of your people. This thinking must be changed. No one is a victim. There are only opportunities. Please work on changing your point of view, even if it is a point of view that nobody shares with you. Lightworkers are the bridge burners of Earth. You create inroads into new ways of thinking and being on your planet. And all of it starts with your own self. So may I suggest that you see a problem as something positive. That perhaps when the solution is found that you will improve your life in some way, or gain an answer that you have been seeking, such as Sharon found with her allergy problem. She realized that she must do energy work to solve this problem. But it was only with the persistence of her allergies and her neighbor's disregard for her health that she found out this solution. It had to get that bad for her to see it. There were other times when she found the solution to her problem because the problem got intense. She had a chiropractor who unwittingly created the wrong pair of orthotic inserts for her shoes. After 6 years of walking on these, many of which were with a cane, she could no longer walk any distance. But she remained dependent on this chiropractor, who was in fact, the source of the problem. He then had to do a sick leave himself, and so she sought another chiropractor who assessed her spinal issues but realized when they kept returning that the orthotics were incorrect. Afterwards, Sharon's back improved greatly and she no longer visits a chiropractor at all. But because of this intense problem, Sharon's life improved immensely. It is called getting your attention, and life is trying to do that. There is a solution to every problem. Always. Sharon was reluctant to change chiropractors, but when she did, her health improved enormously. Sometimes loyalty is misplaced. So, do you wish to avoid the problem, and the subsequent solution, or do you wish to make life easier for yourself and undertake to find the solution when the problem is smaller? It is easiest to cross the river at the narrowest point. The irony of trying to avoid having problems, or avoiding facing your problems, is they get bigger in order to get you to pay attention to them. So do it when they are small. Allow yourself to grow. Being a victim leads to other behaviors in people. One is blaming others. Another is fearing conflict because someone victimized you in the past. Unassertive behavior, people-pleasing, and many more codependent behaviors, being angry, cynical, sarcastic. Thank you, Ivo. Ivo, my dear, as always, you are welcome.